Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Monarchs commentary. Today we'll be talking about WrestleMania 32 and NXT Takeover Dallas. That was the
Dallas.
city. Yep. And here with me, I have Shaun, or Dragon Nix, over from Tech Raptor. I'll have his YouTube channel, Twitter handle, all that in the description of the video.
Thanks for having me.
Indeed. So I guess we'll just start off with the better of the two shows. I don't think anyone here will disagree with that. With Takeover.
I mean, yeah, that's pretty much it. The show that I would want to watch again.
I'm sure there's moments from WrestleMania that are worth rewatching at some point.
Yeah, there were a couple of moments where you go back and you're like, okay, that was cool. But when you compare it to, oh, hey, I could watch the entire takeover from start to finish and not have any problems with it. Sure, were there moments in that I wouldn't have been happy with? Yeah, but that was very little at this point.
Like what? Very first match of Takeover, American Alpha versus the Revival.
I mean, there's a reason why they are two of the best tag teams in that division right now, and why that division is blowing the main roster out of the water in terms of just tag match. That storytelling in the match was impressive and innovative. The tags that they made, something a little bit different, going under the ring, just like you haven't
I
seen.
love that moment so much.
You haven't seen those kind of things before. It's like, oh, hey, let's take this to the next level. Let's change things around. Like that double, I think it was a double DDT to try that Gable put on the Revival to try to get to his partner. And that's when that, moment of the under the ring happens. That's something I hadn't seen before. And I was like, okay, this is what I want. This is exciting. This is different.
See, and I love how, like, you're still seeing Dash and Dawson trying to do all the stuff they normally try to do, but up against American Alpha, which I don't really like that name.
Yeah, no, I don't.
Whatever.
Gable and Jordan, I don't see what the problem with that was, but apparently they're like, oh, we need to rebrand them somehow. So okay, fine. It's a bad name, but I will still remember Gable and Jordan.
Yeah, but just when finally matched up against like all the just technical prowess of these two, you just start to see all of Dash and Wilder's tricks start to fall apart.
Yeah, I mean, like, holding down the feet, trying to use the rules against them. Like, oh, I try to tag even though I know perfectly well not that I can't, just so I can distract the referee. I mean, it is it's the dirty playbook coming out, but it's okay. They're gonna overcome it. They're gonna overcome it, and then sooner or later, it just falls apart.
Yeah. I will say, I do feel kind of bad for Jason Jordan in all of this, because Gable is the clear favorite.
Well, I mean,
team.
Yeah, he is, but I think Jordan did get some really good pops in that. Like that drop kick, his first drop kick when he came into the match. How much air did the guy get? Like, I'm just sitting there looking at it like, would he have been able to jump over a standing, dash at that point? Because he got some serious air, and they started to really warm up to him by the end of the match too.
Oh yeah, I kind of mean like more in general.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen a tag team have this happen, but you'll have Gable out there, they're beating on Gable, and he's like trying to go for the hot tag. Normally, I hear crowds chanting for the guy he's trying to tag in, but they start chanting "Save the Gable."
Yeah, just like this is a little bit out of whack here, but they make it work. That's for sure.
Oh, yeah. I'm pretty sure that's why it's always Gable going for the hot tag, because people just love to chant "Save the Gable."
It's got a catchy ring to it, that's for sure.
It does, and it's kind of silly because it pretty much originated from the "Save the Table" chant from New Day. Somehow it just kind of leaked over into Jason and Jordan.
I mean, Gable's got one of those names where you can just throw it in. I mean, maybe that's what Jordan needs. Maybe Jordan needs a name change just so that he's got some catchy, last name that he can work off of at this point.
Oh no, I also kind of like how they were trying to book him as heels originally, but Gable was just too likable of a person.
It's just like one of those. It's not work. It's like it's the whole New Day situation. Like no matter how, at least with New Day, you could see where they were going with it. Like okay, they're going to be annoying at this point, but sooner or later, it just wins people over. But with Gable, it's just like, how do you hate him? I mean, do you need him to kick a puppy by the time he's done? Because that may get the heat on him. But other than that.
Yeah. It's a bit different because, like, with New Day, I don't understand how that gimmick could ever work as a face gimmick. But it just kind of did.
It was to the point of they're the annoying kids in class, and sooner or later, just by their sheer antics, you're like, I'd miss them when they're gone, and I'm probably because of the fact that everyone else in that tag division on the main roster is just like, no.
I liked Cesaro and Kid, but that's not
injury. Injuries. I mean, I like the Lucha Dragons to a certain extent, but I mean, we'll get to that part later on.
Yeah. Overall, great match. Like, I don't think anyone thought the Revival was going to retain here.
Yeah,
it's pretty much been building for a long while that was going to be American Alpha.
And I mean, I even thought Enzo and Cass would take it off them, but no. But it's good. I mean, it was the right call, and honestly, they put out they started the show strong at that point. So
at no point did I think Enzo and Cass was going to win. By virtue of, I swear, they just stopped talking about this. Like over a month ago, American Alpha won a #1 contenders match for the tag team titles.
Yeah,
and they just stopped talking about it.
It's just like, wait, weren't they supposed to do so?
This match was supposed to happen a while ago.
I mean, technically, they would be #1 contenders even if Enzo and Cass won, but you don't usually book it that way. So, it was strange. It's strange, but yeah, I mean, American Alpha looked like the strong team, and it's a question of who will challenge them. Will Revival get a rematch, or who's the next up and comer at this point?
I think they delayed it just so they could run it on the big special.
Yep. Makes sense.
But yeah.
Yeah, it's a question for me of who's next. I mean, you have the Vaudevillains come back. I mean, there are some good tag teams in the undercard at this point that could, give them a reasonable run for their money. But I mean, they look super strong right now.
Yeah, I really dig the Vaudevillains.
I think that when I was getting back into wrestling, I saw them for the first time. I'm like, people may not like this gimmick, but I really like this gimmick.
I loved it the moment I saw them. Like, when I started watching NXT, it was just at the start of Becky Lynch winning a shot and went on to face Sasha Banks, which was an amazing match.
Yep.
She came out with a freaking steampunk getup.
And I mean, that NXT was what got me back into stuff, and then it's just like, okay, cool. What happened to the main roster? I'm gonna just stay over here.
Well, let's try to get this back onto TakeOver.
All right.
Let's see, next up was Austin Aries versus Baron Corbin.
This is probably of the night the worst match, in my opinion. I mean, it.
Really liked it.
I haven't seen a lot of Aries stuff over in TNA, and to me, Corbin is very. There's something about Corbin that I just don't like, whether it's his execution of things. Like, there were a couple of things early in the match where I was just like, something doesn't seem right about this. I don't know. Compared to everything else, it's not to say that the match was bad. It's just that compared to everything else on the card, that match was probably the worst, which it's still probably better than half of WrestleMania.
So I think I started liking it like the moment Corbin just turned on Regal. He attacked Aries on his debut. It's the first time I've really seen Corbin just get some kind of fire lit under him.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely at least that storytelling element. Like he's frustrated, he's had enough at this point. And I mean, towards the end of the match, I started getting into it a little bit, where they started, getting back into the ring and starting this work at that point. Was the finish to you unexpected? Like, I guess I didn't expect the roll up at that point.
I was not expecting it, but I'm okay with it. Thought it was a good way to finish the match. You get Aries in there, getting his win. You get Corbin, who's kind of been on a bit of a roll lately with how much he's been improving and apparently moving up to the main roster soon. So he still comes out looking strong since it was a roll-up win. So I'm okay with the finish.
I mean, you know what I think I would have taken it better if Corbin would have played it off more. Like he stood there stunned. I think given his character story build, I expected him to go on a rampage. Like, what the what the hell is going on, and start tearing apart the ring or something. So maybe that's what didn't sell me on it. But again, it was an okay match. It was a good debut on Aries. I do want to see him work with someone a little bit more flexible. I think working Corbin to start off, you don't have a lot of options there.
I will give Corbin and him this, they had one of my favorite spots of the night with the deep six on the outside.
Yeah, that
looked brutal.
That looked nasty. So I mean, yeah, kudos on them for that one, because that did sort of stand out.
Yeah, let's see. Next, Shinsuke Nakamura and Sami Zayn.
I mean, can we just call it the match of the year so far? I mean, it is
amazing.
It is the one match I went back and watched like 3 or 4 times, because not only from a storytelling standpoint, but just listen, like turning off the video and just listening to the match, just hearing those shots is just like, I don't know how much pain you would have to be in, even if you are working, the body at this point in terms of lessening the blow. Those had to hurt at some point. Yeah, the King of Strong Style. I see why he's named the King of Strong Style.
I've never seen anything from this guy prior. Like, I didn't bother looking him up. And I'll just see how he's used on his debut. He comes out and, oh God, he wins you over the moment you see him.
Yeah, the biggest pop of the weekend was probably when he did the little, flare. I don't even know what to call it. The back bend at the rope, where just like the crowd erupted at that point. And I'm just like, oh man, that was a huge pop. Probably better than anything WrestleMania did.
Like, the moment I saw him, the first way I thought to describe him is the child of Asian Michael Jackson and Voldo.
That's probably an accurate description, and yet it works. And I mean, he's got a unique style. The way they started the match in particular, the under the arm with the little flare, just like, I'm gonna try to get into your head, and then Zayn coming back and doing the same thing to him, just being like, okay, this is telling a story within the match. No words, just them playing to each other, and God did it deliver.
Like, I think one of my favorite bits is they did kind of like the announcers were selling how dangerous this guy's knees were. Mm-hmm. And the moment he starts that initial knee flurry, freaking Sammy just backs off like a frightened man.
Yeah, what?
Just a dodge.
Like, what are you? Who am I facing at this point? And then he comes back and he starts getting into it at that point. But it's those little moments. They're just like, I haven't seen anything like this before. You don't have to say that. The announcers didn't have to say that. All it was sold on was Sammy doing that one spot, and my God, it worked. And kudos to the announce team, which the NXT announce team is. They've got a lot more flexibility, I'm assuming.
Who's the new guy that's there? What was his name? It's Corey Graves and Tom Phillips?
Yeah. I believe Tom Phillips, yes.
Yeah, Because wasn't it Byron Saxton a while ago?
It was Byron Saxton a while ago. Tom Phillips, I know, was the backstage interviewer guy, but I mean, he was doing a good job. And Graves has been ever since NXT, ever since he started doing the commentary. It's just like, my God, can we get rid of Michael Cole and replace him with you at this point? Granted, I think Cole could be better if he didn't have that wonderful sheet of you have to do this X, Y, and Z. But Graves just sells things so well in terms of knowing when to push on something and say, push that element of the story as opposed to overselling everything.
There are times I want Graves to shut up, but for the most part,
I mean, he is the heel announcer, technically. He is supposed to be the heel announcer, which it does blend the line at times where it's just like the what's his name? The Drifter. Like every time the Drifter comes out, he just starts bashing him. It's just like, wait a minute, aren't you the heel announcer? Aren't you supposed to be building this guy up? No, you bash him over and over again.
But I really like the Drifter.
I do too, but I mean, it's just like, it's amazing what Graves can do, like from even a face Asuka. Like he sells a face Asuka very well. Like it's just like, I'm scared.
That's what I was thinking. It's like, I adore her. It's like, are you comparing Asuka to a reptile? I would not compare her to anything. She would kill me.
Oh man,
and she would, because Asuka's a monster.
Asuka is a monster. But I mean, from this match, from in terms of technical precision, that one mid section of the match where they just go back and forth with those blows. I mean, just a simple punch back and forth. And God, did the crowd love it. It just like, they start to, wear on each other. They start to wear on each other. Again, very good storytelling. And you could hear every shot. I'm surprised Zayn didn't get knocked out very early in the ladder match, only because, God, that had to hurt. That, I mean, I can't imagine that didn't hurt. But, a very good, I mean, and very good spots too. The in the ring, or the in between the ropes DDT.
That had to be the most painful kick, because there is no way you're going to stop a kick that hard looking from not hurting on the top of your head midair.
And I watched it a couple of times. Like, did he kick? Maybe he kicked the ring post and it looked like it. And he didn't get all of it, but no, he got some of it. He did at least get some of it. And Zayn sold it very well. Just like, where the hell am I? I have no idea. Am I on SmackDown again? Am I getting buried again? But
easily my favorite just spot of the match of any actual hit. My favorite was still just Sami Zayn avoiding those kicks like they would murder him.
Yeah, but I mean,
connecting move right there.
There was no down spot in the match. Like, even when it slowed down, you still wanted to watch, and the crowd was right. I wanted to see them fight forever. I really did. It was just like, this is fascinating. This is the one match for the last several years where the hype was deserved. Like, this delivered on so many levels.
I will say, I'm normally not a huge fan of strike finishers, just because half the time they just look like several other moves.
Mm-hmm.
But oh God, I don't know how to describe it other than a standing roundhouse to your head with his knee.
And I mean, he sold the damage of that knee the entire match. And so, even if it is somewhat, middle of the road in terms of the finisher portion, you've got that backlog of, oh God, you heard the hit on, Zayn's stomach. You heard the hits, early in the match. It sells where it's just that impact of, oh, he just got crushed.
Yeah, and even aside from the great selling up till then, just the running, then the sudden planted foot and the knee going up that high.
Yeah.
It looks horrifying, even without taking everything into consideration.
And kudos to Zayn, because I mean, going into the ladder match the next day or 2 days from then, he looked fine. He looked like, yeah, he may have had some welts here and there on his body, but he looked like he came out of that reasonably. And if that's the case, then I'm actually really encouraged that one of the things that I was fearing with, Nakamura coming over is that they would change him up, be a little bit more safer and less stiff. But that match proved to me like, okay, that seems to be working, and it seems like that could work. Granted, I want Nakamura to stay on NXT for as long as possible because God knows what Vince will do with him on the main roster, but it was...
Give him a dancing gimmick.
Fandango 2.0. We'll get to that. We'll get to that later too.
Oh yeah. So on to Asuka and Bayley.
A good match.
Okay, I was more excited for this than most, but I wasn't feeling it as much as I want to because I love Asuka so much. I love Asuka.
I mean, I you knew that with Bayley, with all the hype around Bayley, that she's going to go to the main roster sooner or later. So you know that Asuka was probably the person that they could, reasonably take the championship off Bayley and give it to her because she is a monster. With that said, I wanted more offense out of Bayley in the match. Like I understand they got the chokehold on Asuka and everything like that. I wanted to see a little bit more striking from Bayley, and I think what really, unfortunately, soured it was the ending. Wasn't anything Bayley did. It wasn't anything Asuka did. It was the selling of the referee, like calling the match. Like, don't you bring up the hand? I mean, why are you calling it without actually checking Bayley at this point?
That was weird.
I mean, I think I understand why they wanted to do that. Like Bayley's body passed out, but like maybe you put out the hint of, well, she could have gone on if he, checked her at that point. But that was then undone by like how long it took for Bayley to get back up at that point. I mean, and maybe it was just me. Were they hinting at a heel Asuka at the end of that match? Like she went over to Bayley, and there was this just weird vibe. Like
I think they wanted to try that, but it is never going to work. Like I remember seeing Asuka's debut, like a crowd who probably wasn't really familiar with her as Kana at all. The moment she's out, everybody just loved her.
Mm-hmm. And like, I remember that first match like what is it with the Japanese wrestlers and that arm bar, that conversion into an arm bar where just like, what did you just do to make that happen? Like, did you do a front flip? I'm not exactly sure, but
no idea.
It always looks so impressive. But yeah, I mean, it's hard. It's going to be hard to sell Asuka as, I mean, unless if she goes real heel on someone in terms of like attacking, like if she attacked Bayley at the end of the match, okay, I could see that. But
why would she? She doesn't need to. She's already destroying everybody.
Correct. I mean, so it's going to be hard to sell her at this point. Again, it's going to be interesting to see what they do after this. Who challenges Asuka at this point? I mean, who? Really...
I already know they're building up Nia Jax to face Asuka. There is going to be Nia versus Asuka for the title at some point.
That makes sense. I mean, it's like, okay, maybe power can overwhelm it at this point. Like Asuka's has good technical skills, but it doesn't necessarily sell the smarts like Bayley has, like, going into that choke that she put on Nia. But Bayley's coming up to the main roster. She'll probably be buried. Well, no, maybe she won't be buried because she is the female version of John Cena at this point. So maybe she'll get the push that she needs. But go ahead.
I think going into this match, I was destined to never like it because I'm probably going to get some shit for this. I can't get into Bayley. She is good in the ring. Very good.
I think the problem with Bayley is that she comes off too good. Like she is that, that inspirational story, and she's that role model to young girls and boys. But it's just like, yeah, you want some edge on top of that, like the bigger marks in terms of, you want that edge in terms of, yeah, she's going to do it for the good. And I think she reminds people too much of John Cena. Like, okay, hold on a second. Are we going to have John Cena 2.0 here? Because that's the last
in the women's division.
Yeah, like it's the last thing people want, because they see like the 4 horsewomen and they see a lot of good competition there. We don't want another situation where one person's dominating the card.
I think I eventually did notice one reason why I just can't get into her. And it was around when she had the belt and was starting the feud with Alexa Bliss.
Mm-hmm.
But she gets this look on her face when someone starts like shit talking her. And I just expect her to just start going, "Stop bullying me!"
You know,
That look.
she does need to work on her body expressions when it comes to promos, because I mean, like, even when she was talking to when she had the Sasha Banks feud the second time around, like when Sasha went right back at her, she had that good line where it's just like, if you want to fight me, then I've got no problem. But again, it was the body language. Like, you need to sell it a tiny bit more, like get in her face a little bit more. And you are the champion. You are you're not the underdog in this case. You are the champion at this point. Yeah, you are being booked as an underdog over and over again, but that doesn't need to show in terms of the body language. You are the champ. Even Rey Mysterio, when he was the champ, was like, I'm the champ. I know you're 7 foot 500 pounds, but I'm the champ. So
Yeah. Like, it's also like another thing I'm probably gonna get shit for. I did not like that that's what they went with for like the final match of Sasha and Bailey was the Iron Woman match. If only because it had become so obvious by that point Sasha was going to lose and go to the main roster. You're like, you're pulling out the big match for the outcome everyone knows is coming.
Yeah, you're right.
Seems
But
weird to me.
You're right. I think they didn't help themselves with that. But on the flip side, I think the storytelling in the match overcame that. Like the bat, like, and again, we go back to Sasha Banks being one of the best performers in the book. Like yelling at that girl, just being like,
That was beautiful. That's something
just,
I'd expect out of Chris Jericho.
and we're just like, okay, you pushed it to another level. Well done. Like the performance in that match, I think overcame all that. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I am excited to see what Bailey does on the main roster. I'm excited to see, like, after the women's match on WrestleMania, I'm excited to see this new revamped women's division. And Asuka will probably not. I mean, I'm hoping Asuka comes up by SummerSlam, because I think she seems ready to me. She seems, maybe she needs promo skills, although.
I don't think so.
I mean, the silent badass. I mean, she does. She sells everything in her facial expressions. That smirk, which can just literally be like, "Okay, I'm out of here. I'm not dealing with this."
Asuka is one of like the few indie stars I'd seen prior, just from random clips and whatnot. So I was happy when I heard Kana was coming over, announces Asuka. I was so derailed when I saw her come out in like that nice suit, just all super happy and jittery. I'm like, what happened to the horrifying monster I witnessed in all those YouTube videos?
And then you're like, oh, like when the other women come out and she leaves but has that smirk on your face, like, okay,
that scared me.
Okay, and then that first match where just like you're finally shown that skill, just like, okay, I can get into this. Just stop smiling, please, because you're scaring me. I'm not.
That was a freaking devastating match. She just crushed. Wow, I forget her name right now.
the Funkasaurus.
What's her name? Who did Asuka face in that first match? She works with Emma all the time. Dana Brooke.
Oh, it was somebody else. It was the black chick.
Oh no, I was saying the first match Asuka actually had.
I thought the first match was on NXT. Are we talking first pay-per-view?
No, like Asuka's first match was against Dana Brooke, wasn't it?
I thought it was the other. It was like, I don't want to say Caroline, but somebody with a C. Cameron. I thought that was it, but maybe I'm wrong on that.
I thought Cameron followed, because I was pretty certain they were building like Dana Brooke and Asuka as like Asuka's debut.
That's possible. Maybe I missed it or something.
And then she just
Dana Brooke versus Asuka, debut Asuka. So it was right after. It was Takeover Respect, and then her next match was on NXT. So I must have missed that one.
Yeah, but it was brutal. It has been so long since I've seen anyone just completely crush an opponent like that. I miss seeing it.
It's nice to see. It's like it. I don't want to say female form of Brock Lesnar. That's not that.
There was the Suplex City chant. I've heard with her,
but it is nice to see, and the skill as well, the technique there. Like, I mean, you got Nia Jax, who's this huge monster, but you do question, okay, she's big, she's got these, huge moves, but technically, I don't know if she's there yet. But Asuka is just like, yeah, she's there. She's unbelievably there.
As much as I like a lot of the women that have come out of NXT, like Becky Lynch, Sasha Banks, Charlotte, all amazing. I don't know if they can compete with what I've seen Asuka do prior to coming to NXT.
I mean, Sasha to me, yeah, I think she can. I think she does have the skill in order to be able to play up to Asuka at this point. But we'll see.
Yeah, like I'm waiting for the day they have a match because it will be amazing. Asuka versus Sasha Banks. Best match on whatever card it's going to be.
Yep, that's for sure.
And as far as TakeOver goes, that leaves Finn Balor versus Samoa Joe.
AKA the Let 'Em Bleed.
I wasn't looking forward to this one that much.
I mean, we've seen it before, and we know what both of them can do. And I think it felt the same as what it was before. Like, you have the championship, I want it. And while they built it up with Joe attacking other people, it just never got over at that point.
Like, I don't know what it is, but the longer I've seen Joe, the less interesting he is to me.
He needs some other element to his persona that in order to really sell it. I'm more okay with seeing more of Joe. I'm not so happy with Balor. I'm not a Balor fan because I find his skill set is there, but I just don't think he's that interesting. I mean, the demon is a nice gimmick, but I feel like it overshadows some flaws there. I question his ability to speak on the mic. I don't see him being a main eventer. I see him being a mid-carder.
Yeah, that I can see that. Which I really do like Finn Balor. I'm digging him as champ, but yeah, I don't know if he's going to be that big on the main event.
I think he really needs something to go with that, like that demon personality. Like, if you're going to build that up, make him fight the demon, make him fight that sort of inner rage or something. You can turn him heel, you can turn him, and make him, fall to it. It's just that on the mic, I don't get the impression that he's a threat. It's just that it has to be everything on his skill set. And while he's got some good skills, things like the stomp, to me, I've just found the stomp to always be a kind of move. Like, okay, yeah, you kicked him.
Like, all right, here's what I think would work is he basically wrestles the same regardless. Yet the whole thing is when he has that whole face paint stuff, the body spray on, he's letting the demon out, his inner demon. So why is it the same thing I'm seeing in his other matches?
Yeah,
let it be more vicious when it's on those big stages.
Bring out a different finisher if he's in the demon form. Bring out something more nasty in terms of nasty
the demon form. It's like we're talking about a video game now.
I mean, really? I mean, this is the guy who brought a chainsaw into the introduction there. So
okay, I actually didn't like the chainsaw. I'm like, really?
I mean, it's just like
not scary. It's goofy.
Well, but yeah, like maybe it's just me, but the demon form, I thought it was like this nasty, like this all this pent up like rage and things like that. Yet he seems to have the sense to know where he is by being Doctor Who or Sherlock Holmes or whatever he was in Takeover London, and now he's
Jack the Ripper.
Oh, Jack the Ripper. Okay.
I really love the actual costume. But yeah, I don't like that it's the same with or without the freaking getup on.
I do question the actual character, and I think that's part of the problem. It's just like if there's a more consistent telling there, I think it can work. And if he gets better mic skills.
Yeah.
But the match was good in terms of some of the spots on it. With that said, I mean, you can't help it's live TV. So the whole, Joe bleeding thing at the start of the match obviously took some wind out of it. And, it's going to happen. It's live TV. Despite the fact that Joe looked like he was going to rip off the head of the trainer at that point, like, get out of my way, I'm finishing this match.
I don't know if, he was just playing it up or if he was legitimately getting irritated and just wanted to go.
To be perfectly honest, I think he was getting perfectly irritated about it. Let me do this, please. But, this is WWE.
Yeah. But, yeah, overall, the TakeOver card, there was no surprises at any point during this.
No.
Everyone won who I thought was going to win, and it was good.
The only surprise was the fact that it wasn't Cruz and the Drifter actually promoted, and then all of a sudden became a sort of a night match.
Haven't they not done that match yet?
No, that match apparently happened. I'm following on Twitter, it happened during at one of the commercial breaks or something.
I wanted to see that match.
I know, same here, but apparently it was a squash match in terms of Cruz completely annihilating the guy. But
what?
That's based on Twitter, and that's based on a couple of pictures I saw on Twitter with Cruz going over and the same crowd. But
it better not be the case.
Let me see.
I like the Drifter. That would piss me off.
Hold on. Let me see if I can. Yeah, Apollo Crews versus Elias Sampson, winner in reaction from WWE at NXT TakeOver Dallas. But it was taken off hours leading up to the event. Noted that Crews won via pinfall, and there was a that's the link I saw. Post that there.
I'm legitimately angry now.
I
like the Drifter.
It's the first thing. It's the first thing that you got angry at TakeOver. So, proving that WWE can still finally get you angry at something. Luckily, it is you getting angry at the fact that you weren't able to see a match, as opposed to WrestleMania 32.
I'm kind of mad it was a squash too. Apparently, I mean, go ahead, put Apollo Crews over. I mean, they seem to have this thing for Apollo Crews that I don't really get.
I mean, he's got the skill. Again, the mic, I just really?
That doofy expression on his face all the time. He has this look that he seems like he doesn't think he belongs there, but is just going to be super happy he's here while he is.
Who he reminds me a lot of Titus O'Neil. He's got all the skills. Titus O'Neil definitely has a better mic skill at that point, but he just he's happy to be there. I'm just here. I'm a good guy. You should like me, but I'm not gonna rock the boat.
There's that brief bit with him and Corbin where I was kind of digging him because he still kind of had that look, but it was angry.
Yeah,
I'm so mad. I'm just going to smile as I try to whoop your ass.
Yeah. That moment of yeah, you screwed me. It's time to hurt you a lot. But
then he lost to Corbin.
Of course.
So I was okay with it because, again, I kind of like how they've been building up Corbin a bit. He has been getting better since the first time I saw him.
He has.
But
I still think he needs a lot of work. I think
definitely.
he's still. I think if he's showing up on Raw tonight, I'm concerned.
Oh, he's going to be there. He's going to be there.
Well, and I think part of it is also the fact that he seems like a Vince guy, big, he's got the look and the body size that Vince loves, but whether or not that's a good thing, I mean, we'll get to that with the Roman Reigns portion.
Yeah, as long as they take the time, it'll work. But yeah, eventually we'll get to Reigns. So, all right. So, fantastic pay-per-view overall. Even if there's no surprises, everything was great. Even the worst of the matches you could get into.
Even the worst of the matches were probably in the top of the WrestleMania card.
Yep. All right. So to the pre-show.
So
I did not see the Kalisto match. I did not care I missed it. I'm glad Kalisto won.
So I mean, I watched the entire pre-show because I was editing during the time, so I'm like, I might as well do something. Oh, hey, the pre-show's on. First of all, WWE needs to understand that, or needs to either tell its the people who are coming to watch WrestleMania to get there sooner. But that poor Kalisto and Ryback, that stadium was a fourth filled at that point.
Oh God!
and that was a theme on the night. Like the pre-show, people were waiting outside for like 3 hours. I'm assuming they were doing security checks and whatnot. But for the United States Championship, this something that Cena, and I get all the crap that Cena gets, he built that championship up with the open challenge. Like he made that championship legitimate. Like before it was just like, oh, it's another championship. That one was like, okay, I want to see the open championship. I want to see who has the United States champion. And now it's the pre-show match that honestly, Kalisto and Ryback had a good match. I still question the finish because you're doing the David versus Goliath thing. You're doing Kalisto, the small guy, versus, Ryback, the big guy. And the only way that he won was that while he was being pulled away, he accidentally undid the bindings on one of the ring corners, exposing the ring corner, and then accidentally knocked the guy into the ring corner and then hit the Selena del Sol. It makes him look weak. It makes him like you couldn't have won other than this sort of random chance. So I don't think that makes a lot of sense for Kalisto.
I think I know what they're doing now that I know what the finish was. They're building more of a feud. We're going to have more Kalisto and Ryback.
Oh, joy. I
like Kalisto.
I love Kalisto. I mean, that one spot off the ladder is just like, dude.
Oh, God, that was amazing. I feel so bad for those two and how they had to have felt after that.
But I mean, yeah, Kalisto is amazing. I don't like Ryback.
Nobody likes Ryback.
I don't think Ryback likes Ryback. I mean, they made him now Goldberg because he's got the black tights and he's, he basically is the big muscle guy. But
they might as well have. They've been chanting Goldberg for ages now, but
I mean, it's the character is something that I'm not interested in. It feels like they're trying to make it work when it's not working with the crowd. And unfortunately, that is something that is a common theme for this night. Forcing something that is just not going to happen.
Yet they have freaking Bray Wyatt there, who so many of the crowd will always get in on the Firefly thing.
Yeah, I mean...
No, let's keep having him lose.
Yeah, we'll get to that because
that'll come up eventually.
Yeah, because there is some story behind that in the dirt sheets. So
yeah,
but yeah, it was a fine opener. Just one, people needed to be able to see it, and two, it's just
title match.
The title
match on the pre-show.
I mean, if you really needed something of a lesser, going into the Reigns match, why not have the Battle Royal at the start where you can show all these wrestlers and, have them, show off their moves. I understand you want people to sign up for the WWE network and you're trying to, show, them the quality of some of the competition that you have, but then have Kalisto go on last at least. Don't have the Usos and Dudleys, which we'll get to, go on last. So,
all right. So I guess that then moves on to the Divas match. Again, this one I missed.
Okay, I'm probably going to piss off your audience. It was a lot better than I thought it would be. And to be quite honest, compared to other women's matches in the past of this battle royal nature, it had some good moves in it. It had some good elements to it in terms of, the fight. And while things like Lana being in the match didn't really make a lot of sense, and Lana wasn't exactly, that effective in the match, it was an okay pre-show. And compared to the Dudleys and the Usos, it actually entertained me, especially with Brie Bella at the end. The yes lock.
See, I've seen the clip of that, and it looked good.
It looked like wait a minute, have you been doing this for years? That looked natural. That looked more natural at times than Brian was able to do.
I was derailed when I just saw that little clip. I'm like, that they have a third twin, don't they?
What exactly is going on here? It was a good match. There was some, again, I feel sorry for performers like Natalya and Naomi, who I feel can do a lot better than what they are being given with people like Summer Rae. Like, I feel like Natalya in particular, her skill set is along the other women. Like, I think she can fight. We saw it with Charlotte in Roadblock. Yeah. So it's just that, oh no, she's part of the Total Divas thing.
Sure.
I'm sorry. But for all the shit Eva Marie gets, which she well deserved, she looked like she had learned something in terms of technical skill. The 2 or 3 moves that I saw at the start of the match is like, okay, you've learned something. You've actually improved. Now, with that said, the first thing you should do when you've got so much heat on you is to pose to the crowd. Like, you've got nuclear heat on you in terms of no one likes you. You're being asked to be a face, which no one buys. Don't pose right there. Just let the wrestling prove for yourself. Because if she would have let the wrestling portion of do that, I think people would have been like, oh, okay, she's got something. And may have, not necessarily moved on. But that one pose was like, okay, you're still Flash.
Seriously though, who are the faces here? I see the lineups.
I mean, Brie Bella, with Brie Bella on the one side, just because of the association with Daniel Bryan, it has to be Total Divas. It has to be because of that. I mean,
no one likes Total Divas, really.
No one likes Total Divas, but everyone loves Brie Bella because Daniel Bryan. I mean, that
has to be the worst reason to be the face. Is, well, people like her husband.
And I mean, yeah, that's said, and to a certain extent, Natalya, because I think Natalya's got that essence of, she's a competent performer and she's sort of toiled for a while.
I like Natalya.
I really think Natalya should be in the, like when they talk about the horsewomen, I think she should be in the conversation. Her technical skill is there. She may be older, but damn, there were some moves that she pulled off in Roadblock that I was just like, I was entertained by that match.
I think she's just been hampered by being with people who aren't that good for so long.
Yeah. So she's of the old guard where you got the women's revolution, or Divas, formerly known as the Divas Revolution, where it's just like she's unfortunately associated with them, even though she's always been better than them. So it's just like
you can only make yourself look so good if no one else is at that level.
Yep.
And it's not until recently there have been people good enough for her.
Yep. So hopefully the increased, competition will help her out at this point.
Oh yeah. I'm almost expecting they're planning to quickly move a lot of divas up to the main roster because of how many more they've started showing off on NXT.
I'm concerned about that, because I am concerned that we're going to get into this, story booking mode where it's just like, it's a bunch of, women fighting each other, where like, you don't take the time to actually.
Here's what I think they need to actually finally do is take one of your B shows, like freaking Superstars or Main Event. Bam. New women's wrestling show. Just give them a full show rather than like one match a night.
I mean, that's definitely a possibility. I mean, even then, I think 1 or 2 matches on the regular show will still work. Treat them like, well, I want to say treat them like the men, but they haven't exactly booked the men well either in terms of storytelling.
Don't treat them like the men. Do not treat them like the men. It will end badly.
Treat them like NXT superstars. Treat them like, okay, this is the character. This is their motivation. Go. That's it. End of story. Don't make it more complicated than that.
Like, start bringing on some more of the indie women talent from Shimmer and whatnot. Get enough so you can run like that hour-long show. and you'd have a great promotion full of a lot of women who can go. And they're not relegated to like one storyline building at a time because they have no screen time. Because them authorities got to get that 30-minute promo in every day.
God damn, those promos.
You could do a women's wrestling show in the time it takes to do an authority promo.
I don't even know where to begin on that one, but we'll get to that in a certain other match, I think. But
probably
let's finish off this pre-show.
Dudley's versus the Usos.
I sadly watched this.
This is all I wrote down as far as notes go. Usos and Dudley's was fine.
I mean, I think that's being generous. I think the start of the match, like they sold the whole you're like Bubba Ray Dudley is just shouting I
actually really liked that.
I mean, okay, yeah, he's beat up his old man Rikishi and things like that, but it's just like with the move sets and everything out there, we've seen it all before. And are the Dudley's heels are the Dudley heels doing the "What's up" from the top rope? Because I thought that was something to get a pop, which I'm pretty sure that's not a heel move. But
I think we just have to kind of accept that's WWE now. The heels will do the moves that get the pops.
Not? I mean, it is a pre-show match. I was like, just start the show. I was not entertained. The after beat up and then the table spot, whatever. Just okay, move on.
I was expecting the Dudleys to win it, just because I almost was thinking they were trying to build up for Dudleys versus the New Day, where the New Day are the heels this time or faces this time.
I mean,
even though nothing has changed about their gimmick.
I mean, they've made them to try to sell other teams at this point, which, okay, if you're going to do that, fine. Just find another new team to do it, because I don't think the Usos, regardless of their talent, just are not...
They're not up to snuff with the New Day.
I mean, they just don't have that aspect of it. Hell, I would be interested if you turned them heel. I would be interested to see how they would be able to work as heels.
I would be interested if you found a way to tell these two apart. The announcer can't tell them apart.
Yeah, I mean, Xavier Woods can. Xavier Woods.
Not everyone can be Xavier Woods, though. So.
Yeah, we all wish we were Xavier Woods, but
I loved him yelling at the announcers about Usos.
I just thank you for saying what everyone else was thinking at this point. But on the flip side, no one still knows which one is apart. It goes back to the Dash and Wilder thing. At least in that case, you can tell them somewhat apart. But that starting chant of which one's Dash, which one's Wilder, just like, well, I guess. Wait, hold on a second. Is that Dash? But
well, I can tell them apart. I just don't remember which one is which, because there's not much of a difference between the two.
But you know what the funny thing is? The way they react, like the Usos just sort of play it off, like the way that Dash and Dawson were like they hugged each other and just like, okay, hold on a second, that was a little moment that I enjoyed. Like yes. Just like, oh yeah, you guys hate us, whatever. We're the heels.
I love Dash and Dawson. But now we're just talking about how much better NXT is again.
Yeah. Well, let's get to the good part of WrestleMania. Let's start off the get out of the pre-show. Ladder match. Good way to open the show, wouldn't you say?
Yeah. I'm happy Ryder won.
I'm happy that
a lot of people aren't.
I don't understand that. Like, okay, you wanted it to be... I know a lot of people wanted it to be Zayn versus Owens, but I don't think to start the feud off, I mean, to go for that, first spot where it's just like Owens and, Zayn going at each other. No, I think you can wait on that. I think getting Ryder over was a good idea, because I think he does have the skill set, and I think it did start off the match with a, hey, anything can happen. The whole moment with the Miz up there, you're like, oh no. And then, Ryder coming up and you're like, maybe something can happen this night. Maybe we won't get the same. Oh no. We proved that wasn't the case in terms of, them force feeding the same thing over and over again. But hey, you swerved us. Way to go. And honestly, it was a well done and well executed match. There were some good spots with like Zayn going through the ladder and Owens dying in the middle of the ring.
I'm still legitimately wondering if he got injured on that. Because holy shit.
It just looked like ow. Like he looked like he wasn't moving. Like it was just like, you're either selling this really well, or I just don't know if you're actually dead. And if you are dead, oh God.
What a way to go, I guess.
Oh, it's just like
there are worse ways you could leave this world than that.
And in the back of my mind going, oh God, who's the top heel on the company now?
Oh God.
But
they're going to try to make it freaking Rusev again.
Well,
with a dancing gimmick.
God damn it. But yeah, a good executed match, a really good way to open the show. Probably overall the best match of the night with the conclusion on top of it. Now, granted, there were some other great matches in the night, but I think it obviously it started off the show well.
I loved when they actually did the interview with Ryder backstage a bit later, and he just legit seemed like amazed, happy. He wasn't just the over the top either. He'd really kind of toned down his energy a bit, but was appropriately intense.
Yeah, I mean, and like that little element of the real world. Like I didn't know that I would even get on Raw, let alone be in the match, kind of situation. That
I thought you were done with Ryder.
Apparently not. Now I have to say that the post Raw or the Raw after WrestleMania has a tendency to have a title change. Please don't do it to Ryder. Please, for the love of God, don't do it to Ryder. No, don't take it away from him.
Yeah. He showed here that he can run with this for a while. People are behind Ryder. But, again, a lot. Not everyone. There are some people who are pretty pissed he got it. They're all, oh, he was losing with the Hype Bros on the NXT earlier, and now he's the champ.
I mean, at least you had the skill. He had the skill set, and he obviously showed it in there. A lot of people are going to be angry with it. Whatever, you know. He deserves it. We're going to still have Zayn and Owens eventually.
I'm thinking they want to build a feud with Zayn and Owens first, and maybe like stick with the title for other people to build up. Because you don't need a title for Zayn and Owens at this point.
No, there's two. You have the storyline itself, so let it go to somebody who needs the title to sell them.
Yeah, and I think that'll work with Ryder.
Yep.
I'm thinking they might feud him with Miz, since the Miz is the one he knocked off at the end. Yeah. I seem to be one of the few people that really dig heel Miz.
I'm okay with the heel Miz. It's just that I've seen the Miz too much, I guess.
Understandable.
All right, so from the good of WrestleMania.
Okay, for Jericho and Styles. Again, all I wrote down was, okay, that happened.
I mean, I'm trying to understand, like, you've already shown this match 3 times up to this point. You had to do something reasonably different, and it was another Styles and Jericho match. It's not like you have, a whole other roster that Styles can fight at this point, but for some reason you chose this. Granted, they worked the match fine. I think the ending was a little bit off because it wasn't so clear that Jericho was using the referee at first. Like it was sort of that awkward position where you don't know what's going on, and they keep on downgrading the Styles Clash. Like it's not a finisher, but the phenomenal forearm is.
Is it? I don't know. Has he hit it yet? Has he pinned anyone with it?
He's pinned someone with it. But was it the Miz? I don't know.
Oh yeah, he did face the Miz.
But it just, you've taken the real, like the Styles Clash. I understand it's dangerous, but Are you just get rid of it? Don't play this like, oh, he's gonna hit it, but it's not gonna do anything, and eventually it'll go away.
Yeah, but here's what I think they're trying to do here. Like, you had the big debut of AJ Styles. Everyone freaking loves the guy.
Mm-hmm.
He gets that surprise win over the veteran, which not a surprise to anyone paying attention. But in terms of narrative, the surprise win over the veteran Jericho. Great match. You get everyone loves it. We get the second match. Jericho manages to win it. People are digging it. People are super hyped for what's coming with the rubber band match.
Mm-hmm.
I forget which pay-per-view that was on, but they get the rubber band match. It's awesome. AJ Styles go over as is expected.
And then
And people just dug it so much, they went, we need to think of a way to keep this going. And, one more match at WrestleMania. All right. I'm down with that. Just because the first few times it was all pride, ego on Jericho's part. He just wanted to get his wins back and all that. Have him turn heel, and he cut some great promos. Psych everyone for one last Jericho Styles match. And someone at Creative went, they've liked it this far. How can we keep this going longer? 4 matches is not enough, Jericho and Styles.
Just like, too much of a good thing. Eventually the taste is going to run out. And
this would have been a great ending if Styles just won it here.
But instead, now we've got the question of, okay, and especially again, isn't Jericho a part-timer? So are we going to see him? I mean, are we going to see him again soon? I don't know.
I really don't know. Like, I'm sure that's what they were thinking, is everyone just wants to keep seeing more Jericho Styles.
But I mean, it's more so, yeah, Jericho and Styles. Oh, you know what would also be interesting? Owens and Styles, Zayn and Styles.
I want him to save Owens and Styles.
I do too.
Yeah.
But I mean, it just like there's so many interesting matchups that you could have on the card there. Just like showing the same thing over and over again. Yeah.
I would love to see Styles and Cesaro.
Yep. I mean, it would be an interesting combination, interesting skill sets. It just, again, it's indicative of they're doing it despite what the crowd wants. And while you can swerve to get heat, did it really need it in this case? I don't think it did. I don't see the benefit here.
Like, Jericho had already gained so much heat after the Bret Hart shit.
Yeah. I mean, do you really need that much more?
Like, the moment he just said, you're never getting him back.
Just like, oh, wow.
There's never going to be more heat than what you had right there.
Just like, okay, well, I did not expect that to happen.
But there is no way that was scripted.
Yeah,
he just stopped mid-promo.
just like, I could just see in the back being like, oh, like I could just imagine Natalya being like, okay, yeah,
That's why they need to let people do their own thing more often, so we can get more stuff like Jericho heat. Just on the fly anger.
But I think the WWE is so unfortunately concerned about their image that they restrict people.
They brought out freaking Dean Ambrose with a chainsaw attempting to murder someone. I mean, we'll get to that in a minute, but
yeah.
What are they worried about people thinking?
They
said bad words. We can't have that.
Well,
he was kind of a dick.
I still remember the whole the whole Batista blood fine thing, and I can't get that image out of my head, like them just going really over the top with stuff.
But yeah, the match was all right. Just I don't want to see more Jericho Styles.
Hopefully this dies. Hopefully, I hope they don't have another.
They just forget about it.
I hope that just like, okay, Jericho leaves and like just being like, okay, I'm going off to do something. Ha ha ha! I won, and Styles is left. Okay, well, I gotta find something else to do.
Maybe one day Jericho can come back and they can have a match again when people would be interested in seeing it.
Yeah.
Like a year down the line, maybe.
Maybe, but just don't like. Unfortunately, the next pay-per-view is Payback, right? It's just like no.
It's gonna happen at Payback.
God damn it.
Let's see. Moving on from this catastrophe, we go into something amazing with the New Day's entrance, and then to the rest of the match.
So that entrance, just so many layers of like
amazing.
The cereal, like the Saiyan outfits. Like if you go and look at the actual ingredients on the cereal, it's amazing.
10% positivity.
It's just like and you look at the ingredients like Michael Cole-isms, and it's just like you guys understand what the internet fan wants, and
I understand what the crowd wants. People love the New Day. Internet crowd, live crowd, casuals. Everybody loves the New Day.
And the League of Nations wins. I've got less problems with this if you're trying to gain heat. It's just the way it was done. I mean, kudos on Xavier Woods getting, a little bit more like he's always been there, but I think in this match he got a little bit more credit in terms of like he actually can fight at this point, but I don't know. This match to me
wasn't it supposed to be a handicap, but Barrett was just standing outside the whole time?
Yeah. I mean, it was supposed to be, but then it was like the 3-on-3 match. I'm like, oh, okay, so it's not a handicap. Okay, fine. I don't care. But Barrett's leaving anyway, so just okay. He's there. He doesn't have to wrestle, but he's just present.
Then New Day lose, and Lee gets chased out by a bunch of retired guys, which I like the spots. I mark out for the spots, but
I like the micro at the spots, but it just like you have the New Day. You're overshadowing one of your stronger teams for people who are not going to be there tomorrow. I mean, what?
One of the stronger teams that everyone knows. Like, is there anything more over on the main roster than the New Day right now?
I mean, maybe Ambrose, but even then, it just
I don't think so.
It's just like you don't understand. They're not going to be there tomorrow. What do the New Day do now? What do the League of Nations do now? And
they're gonna carry this feud on, Yeah,
I know, and I don't want. Who in WWE booking thinks that anyone likes the League of like even from a heat standpoint,
they're not even fun to boo.
Yeah, like they don't play to the crowd. They don't they laugh it off. It's not fun to hate them, and so why should I even bother?
And at this point, someone in creative has to hate the fans.
I'm convinced that Vince is has a terminal illness and he's just trying to get back at the world at this point.
Or maybe this is just his fever. He's living out a fever dream or something.
I don't know. I mean, and the sad thing is, Rusev, for example, I think Rusev could do well. He had some interesting, the whole. I understand the whole Lana and Dolph Ziggler angle was bad, but the whole fish thing with Summer Rae, I actually liked that. I liked when you showed a tiny bit of personality at him. He's got the skills, that sell on the stunner. Granted,
that was amazing,
but it was amazing. You stick him with Sheamus. I
don't even hate Sheamus, but
I just Sheamus is unfortunately just he's Sheamus. He's
there now. It's kind of sad because he uses the Celtic Cross, and I love that finisher, but he never uses that. He just boots people in the face.
I mean,
even his Irish backbreaker thing, the tilt-a-whirl backbreaker, is amazing looking. But why can't that be a finisher?
No, it's the brogue kick, because God knows we need more, striking finishers like spear, we need more spears.
Okay. You know what? We'll get to Roman Reigns' spear when we get to his match.
Yeah.
So yeah, no one was happy with this match. The match itself was all right, and it just ended, and no one really knew what to feel.
The storytelling is like, who cares?
Fucking then the league gets buried by 3 retired guys, and people are just happy to see a couple spots, and that's the match.
Yep.
It depresses me greatly.
Oh, what's the next match on the card?
Lesnar and Ambrose. I wasn't feeling this match.
I was feeling the start. I was feeling okay, he's dominant and you're going to work him down in terms of introducing the weapons little by little. Yeah, he's a monster, but, playing with Ambrose, like I'm on another level with you, but, Ambrose will start the fight back. But then at like a halfway point in the match, it's just like, you need to do something. You need to do something more. You need to, escalate this at this point. The match itself was mad to me, and the finish was even worse. Because again, I don't understand. You can put both guys over here. You can put both guys, even if you want Lesnar to win, you can still have Ambrose look strong. You've played up this idea of Ambrose is the warrior. He's not going to quit. He's not going to go down. He didn't kick out once. What does that say? I mean, yeah, he did an F5 on a bunch of chairs. Okay, yeah, that makes sense, sort of, but
that'd have been a great finish if, you
built it up more.
Yeah, it just happened.
It just it came out of nowhere, it happened, and now Lesnar goes off. He's done his part. You don't know what he's going to do. He's probably not going to fight until SummerSlam, but now you have Ambrose, who's still over, but I'm afraid it's going to be turning into a White situation. He can only lose so many of these big matches, and eventually it's going to catch up to him.
I think that's what they're doing. I think they're trying to push him down the card so people don't cheer him as much.
And we all know how that has worked at this point. And that would work a little bit better if you had a stronger champion, but
we have Reigns.
Mm-hmm. And you have the additional connection of Reigns and Ambrose being connected via the Shield and brothers. So it's just you're always going to remember Ambrose. And so you're not going to be able to get rid of that. So, because that's their most iconic moment, the Shield.
What's going to happen is they did this to push him down. Reigns is going to take out Rollins when Rollins comes back. And everyone is going to cry.
I know it's gonna. You're right, but it's just you got to do something. You understand that your ratings are shit, right? There's a reason for that.
They've never been this bad at realizing the guy they're pushing doesn't work before, right? I know they've pushed a guy longer than they should have. They've never been this bad before, right?
Like the Daniel Bryan thing, they had to drag their feet in order to do that, and finally they gave in
because someone was going to riot.
I mean, I guess I wonder if that's part of it. They're concerned that Ambrose is going to be another Daniel Bryan or something, and is going to get hurt, and then they're back at square one.
I like Ambrose. I don't think that's going to happen with him, because he's not as likable as Daniel Bryan was.
But I wonder if those smaller guys, if they're just, think about all the champions over the last, besides Rollins, think of all the champions over the last several years. They've all been those bigger guys, those tough, big guys, the bodybuilder types.
Anyone who worked out with Triple H.
I mean, I don't see them. I see them still trying to put that body image type and thinking that that's going to be the guy who's going to be there for the longest time. And that's bad. That's bad for business.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I think the two things I just really didn't like though with Lesnar and Ambrose is Ambrose didn't come out with the wagon.
Yeah.
That was my favorite thing. Out of all of these promos, the best was him just walking out with the wagon. Coming out with
it was goofy, but it was just like, yes, I want this. And it just like the lack of spots on Ambrose's side. I just like give the guy something to work with.
Like the other, like I love the bit with Chainsaw Charlie and Terry Funk. It was hilarious in the little vignette they did. But when he's actually trying to start a chainsaw mid-match,
just like, okay, so remember we just gave a Hall of Fame speech for the Boss Man. Remember that we tried to hang the Boss Man at one point in WrestleMania. Apparently, killing is legal. I mean, it's a no holds barred. It's a street fight. Just bring out a chainsaw. Wait, what?
Like it worked in like just some silly build-up scenes to this match, but to actually try to use the chainsaw, I'm gonna stop taking the match seriously.
I'm gonna beat you. I'm pretty sure. I understand this is a no holds barred and no disqualification, but is that really legal? Yeah, I'm pretty sure the law still applies here.
You would think.
You'd hope.
I mean, if TNA has taught us anything, if you watch that during its worst times, you could take a giant board full of 6-inch long nails and beat a guy with it, and be perfectly fine.
And no bat.
TNA logic into this.
No, you bring out the bat. Oh, look at the bat. Oh, you're not going to use the bat.
I've just came to the conclusion that logic in this match is on par with TNA. My soul is just bad.
How the mighty have fallen.
Like, you were bad, WWE, but you weren't TNA until you tried to murder a man with a chainsaw. God, I hate this match now. Well, I didn't hate it prior to this point, but now I hate it.
Yeah, we're starting to see the word. Like, we'll get to it later, but old WCW stuff came out. What was the next match? I want to get away from this match. This match is depressing me.
Charlotte retains the women's title.
Okay, technically a great match. Like one of the best technically done women's matches for a new women's championship that I actually like.
That is my favorite looking belt right now.
Yeah. I mean, and the fact that they mirrored the WWE championship but gave it its own flair, saying, okay, this is an equivalent title.
Flair.
But, a great match all around technically. But you went back to the Flair interruption again. You've gone to that several times. You've introduced this whole women's title. This title, you've gotten away from the Divas. You want to start it strong. You want to sell it. This is the epitome of women's wrestling. And you did it by having a man interfere in the match.
You see, in principle, I'm not really bothered by that bit. I'm more bothered like this keeps happening.
Like you got nothing else to work off of. Like,
here's what I swore was about to happen. Like, the moment he grabbed her, I'm like, the moment Flair grabbed freaking Banks, I'm all, Becky's going to reverse this figure 4 while Flair's holding Banks. And we're going to get Becky as the champion. And that would have been awesome because the freaking interference backfired horribly. And Becky is my personal favorite out of the ones on the main roster.
Yeah,
so
probably.
I'd have marked out a bit. But no, Charlotte won. Like, I was fine with it.
I mean, I don't like the fact that they keep on going back to the same well. I mean, if this hadn't been done 3 or 4 times before, I would have been fine. But you gotta give, like, Charlotte looks like a weak champion again because it's just like she can't win without Flair interfering, and that's great
if that's what you're going for. Anyway,
that's what you're going for. But you really want that to be the start of your women's championship, this selling of this whole new division, its revival. I don't see it. Yeah. Now, who will Banks take it at Payback? I don't know.
I hope.
I hope they don't just throw Bayley in there because that's what I'm afraid of. They're going to immediately throw it on Bayley and be like, Bayley's the new John Cena. That's, again, I'm scared that they're going to do that, but I hope that they don't.
Like, again, I was still hoping for Becky because it had made so much sense by this point after all the time she's gotten screwed here.
I wanted Becky to win, but I would have been okay with Sasha winning. I would have been okay with Charlotte winning if it was the right circumstances. It's a great match, overshadowed by just the finish.
I don't think it's so much that it's a bad finish. It's just there was obviously so many other things they could have done.
Yeah,
that just kind of dragged it down a bit. But hey, I liked watching the match. I'm okay with just the premise of Charlotte still having the title. It wasn't a complete botch.
Yeah, compared to all the other stuff on the card, it definitely wasn't.
God. Now we're going to Taker versus Shane.
I mean, it did more than I thought it would. And my God, the problems with this match are more so storytelling and the fact that nothing is going to change. That's the thing. You were hoping maybe they'll fix it up, maybe they'll change up the formula, but the match itself was fine. It did a lot better than I thought it would.
Oh God, though, that bump. I hope Shane's all right.
I just like, is he dead? He may be dead. Somebody please check on him. He's probably dead. But
he seemed fine on his way out, at least doing the.
I mean, it definitely got the crowd at that point. And my God, kudos to Shane for, as old as he is, he's able to do some spots that are ridiculous. So kudos on that guy. It's just that, again, it's just the WWE. It's just
nothing has changed.
Nothing has changed. You're going to get the same story over and over again. You're going to like it. And you know what? I like the match. I'm just disappointed with the outcome. Less about The Undertaker and more about
another Authority promo opening Raw. See, that's all I thought the moment this match ended is we're Authority promos opening Raw.
Yeah.
I was almost convinced, like, after freaking wow, his name slipped my mind. Vince came out and straight up said, "Yes, The Undertaker is my bitch." That this match was going to end with Undertaker laying down for Shane.
I did too. I thought that moment
that'd been perfect.
I thought that moment after Shane did the jump off the cage, where Taker looks at him like, "You really want this?" would have laid down at that point, but and
it'd have been perfect. Like,
it would have
see him retire, which he needs to retire. I love Undertaker. I don't know what else he can do at this point.
He needs to retire, but he
went out looking strong. And he went out giving that last fuck you to Vince.
And instead, now we're going to get Taker versus Cena at WrestleMania 33, where Taker is a year older, and honestly, he's slowed down. He's slowed down significantly. I will say that at least his intro or his walk down to the ramp was, faster than The Rock's.
Was that after this? I didn't write in that scene, that bit.
I believe it was after the Battle Royal.
All right. We might as well just talk about it now. I mean, anything we could say about the problems with the Taker match are going to come up when we start talking about Reigns anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So, I love that walk down. Like, I don't care. I don't care. It's The Rock.
I mean,
he can do whatever he wants.
What flamethrower? Oh, you know what? Fine. Okay.
It's more over than Roman Reigns. I'll take it.
But on the flip side, who does he go over? He goes over the Wyatts. Now, that had to be a last minute thing because the Wyatts. Bray Wyatt apparently got an injury. That's why he hasn't been wrestling.
Yeah, his back has been a bit bad, I heard.
He's
waiting on that to heal up.
So
he took a fucking spine buster.
Yeah, and I understand that, but how many heel stables do you have that are actually legitimate right now, or any, let alone heel
stables that people like?
heel stables that people are able to actually mark out on and get heat from, or heels. Like, okay, Owens is a great heel. I'm actually struggling to come up with a second one because okay, Triple H, okay, the Authority. I don't really care at this point. It's been done overdone. But who else is a good heel? Jericho? Okay, Jericho is a part-timer. I don't consider Lesnar a heel. Lesnar's I'm just here to punch people. League of Nations, no one likes the League of Nations. The League of Nations doesn't like the League of Nations.
I like Barrett, but not as a heel. He's just goofy and fun. I don't want to boob. I want the rest of them to go away. I'd like to keep Barrett around, keep him on commentary.
But so you have this interesting white faction, and Bray's got the mic skills. Bray's got his in-ring ability. May not be as good as some others, but it's good enough.
Do you remember his match with Ryback? He had a really good match with Ryback.
Yeah, if you're able to have a good match with Ryback, you're able to have a good match with anyone. So why are you burying them over and over? Sooner or later, just like, oh, look, it's the Wyatts again. They're going to get defeated. I'm done. You're gonna put the infamous, quick victory on Rowan. Why? Why do you hate people? Does Vince McMahon hate people with beards? That's my real question here. If you, I'm thinking of it, Daniel Bryan, the Wyatts. If you have a beard, you might as well just.
In his defense, he hated Bryan before the beard.
Yeah. But you have this stable. What are you trying to? And there was that moment within that promo where, like, are they turning them face? Like, there's that one moment where he's like, Rock is actually giving them credit, and it's just like
the crowd cheered,
and the crowd cheered. It's just like, wait a minute, are they turning them? But even with the faces, I'd be like, okay, this is interesting again, but why? Why do this to them? Are you rebranding them? Are you just getting rid of them? There's no point.
If this leads to, say, Eric Rowan, like, just feeling betrayed because he's not gotten anywhere with the Wyatts and turning, them basically whooping Rowan's ass after a very brief feud and reestablishing themselves after a weak link or something, and then start crushing people again, maybe just let Bray go singles again. Like, dude can talk.
Let Bray do his own thing and toss Strowman out into the stratosphere because Jesus Christ,
he's been getting better.
He's been getting, but not
fast enough.
Not fast enough. It's like go and do some damage. Yeah. He reminds me of the Big Show, and I'm sorry, the Big Show at one point was good. It's the Big Show now.
Yeah.
So it's the status quo, and hell or high water, this is going to come and bite them in the ass.
Yep.
Or it's going to be another situation like Daniel Bryan, where there's so many people being like, God damn it, just push the Wyatts, please. And maybe that's how they get them over at this point.
Because the crowd gets into the Wyatts so much. You could just look out at the crowd.
You look at the Firefly segment, and just like, they all love it. They
still boo when he's out there.
So
it's perfect.
So it's just like I really have the question, like, who is paying who in the writing room to stay on that staff? Because they've got to realize, right? They've got to realize that something's not right here.
Yeah.
The ratings alone would tell you, but
they acknowledged it too with freaking Shane coming back. He straight said, so many people are getting injured. Ratings are tanking. Pay-per-view buys are shit.
It's just like, you're way too self-aware here. And then it leads to the questions like, is this a Vince thing? Is this, we've heard all these rumors about Vince and Triple H being, a lot of heat backstage. It makes you wonder when you go and look at NXT and be like, damn, they know how to do it. why can't the main roster? It's a different stage, I understand, but sooner or later, you got to realize this isn't working, right?
I don't know.
And then
really don't know anymore.
And of all things, you bring Cena back for this? I mean, what's the point? Do you really need the bump from The Rock and Cena to come back during that segment? I don't. It's like, okay, we have to have Cena in this show, but he doesn't need to do a lot. What can we have him do? Like, you could have him mess around in the Hell in a Cell match. Like when Shane went to get the bolt cutters, that's what I really thought. Like, wait a minute,
someone's interfering.
Someone's interfering. Like, that got me excited. Like, okay, who is it going to be? Is it going to be Cena? Is it going to be
Posse? Maybe.
Is it going to be
just for the workout moment?
But instead, Cena comes down during what is probably not needed, and honestly, just a waste of. I know people hate Cena. Cena is good for the company. Use him better. Use him to put like when Kalisto got over. Like, use him like that if he's injured. Don't use him like this. Don't have him help The Rock. Does The Rock really need help?
Yeah. Like, part of me is hoping at some point down the line when The Rock's not making a movie, this is going to lead to a Bray Rock feud and let him put Bray over.
I hope so, but
otherwise nothing comes of this.
It just buries the talent that is staying around, and God knows that you live in the past, WWE, but The Rock is doing movies now. Deal with it.
Oh, but we are getting something that's coming out of this show. We're going to get AJ Styles and Jericho 5.
Hooray.
But nothing for Bray.
No.
Fuck that guy, apparently.
Yeah, those mid-carders, they don't need. They're not the savior who is Roman Reigns. So God, I don't.
How could anyone see him as Bray Wyatt as a mid-carder? Like, he's not even 30 yet. He's been in every pay-per-view for like 2 years. He is still over.
Okay, quick trivia question. When's the last time Bray won?
I think it was Ryback.
Was it right, or was it
a singles match? It was Ryback.
Yeah.
As a family, like the Wyatts beat at a pay-per-view, they beat Ambrose, Reigns, and Jericho, and the Usos helping.
And how long ago was that? Was 8 months ago?
I don't think it was that long, but
it was last year.
Yeah. It was like the last half of last year. Then he just got lost in a singles match to Roman right after. I think they're trying to bury everyone in the Shield other than Reigns. They're like, you only got one guy from the Shield left. Cheer him already.
But why wasn't even part of the Shield? Just like we hate groups right now. The New Day has somehow come out of this as the only group that has been able to actually stay alive, but every other group, the League of Nations,
they're trying to end the New Day with the League of Nations.
What was the next? Okay, so the Battle Royal, which was okay.
It was good.
It was good. Again, it makes you question, why was it moved from the pre-show to the second last match on the card? I know
really want to put Corbin over.
Granted, you want a toilet break match, but and you're really afraid of Reigns, but it felt out of place. It felt like this doesn't make a lot of sense. But granted, it was reasonable. Although, again. Why is Shaq in the match?
That confused me too, but I think I've just pieced together this match and why it is here. And everyone's goes on about NXT being better. Like, NXT's got the better talent, the better match. Like, oh yeah, we're going to debut the big NXT star that's going to rise to their Corbin wins it. Like, that's the NXT star you pick. I don't think they understand NXT. Like, I don't think
maybe that's how Vince was like, well, okay, we'll give
we'll give the fans exactly what they want with an NXT star.
But I mean, like, was that match just a big middle finger to like every single wrestling fan? Like, oh look, it's Fandango. Everyone likes Fandango. He was doing what he's out. Oh look, it's Damien Sandow.
I felt so bad for Sandow.
It's just like everybody loves Damien Sandow. They want him back. He's gone to Shaq, to mother Shaq.
Why was Shaq here? I don't get it.
I missed something. Just like why like, you know, why of all people do you put Shaq in there? Again, he's gonna be gone tomorrow, but everybody's gonna be talking about him. Oh yay. I mean, and the moment where they were both him and Big Show were knocked out, it was a good moment, but you didn't need to bury Sandow and Fandango over it. Hell, do it to the Social Outcast because that's sort of their gimmick. But
I just want to know why him. Like, they said something about him and Big Show saying something to each other ages back. When did this happen?
It was a Raw. He was the guest host at that point, and
was that years ago?
Oh yeah, it was ages ago. But again, this is WWE living in the past, and so it's just like, yeah, you guys like Shaq, right? We're hip, we're cool. We'll bring up that image.
Who knows who Shaq is anymore?
He's making Shaq food too. Remember that?
Oh God, is he?
Yeah, and it actually looks decent at this point. It was kickstarted, of course.
So I was like, are you fucking serious?
I'm deadly serious, but it looks actually reasonable, at least the early footage, but God knows it's Shaq food too.
Oh God.
But it's just like again, it's indicative of the entire WWE right now.
Yeah. I'm really thinking though that's why Corbin is there. They really thought bringing up an NXT guy and having him win the Battle Royale would help take the edge off fucking Shane McMahon losing, and the realization is all going to be the same. It's like, it's not all going to be the same. We got the new NXT hot star up on the main. Why Corbin?
I'm on the opposite side of that. I think Vince brought him up just for the purpose of, okay, you know, NXT, we're gonna bury NXT. We're gonna have Corbin win of all people. I just see Vince being like, damn you, NXT takeover Dallas. Like, damn you for possibly upsetting the biggest stage of them all.
They're like, I think he's just legitimately that out of touch, though, to have thought, let's bring up Corbin to make those fans happy. And I'm saying this as someone who's grown to quite like Baron Corbin. What are you thinking?
It's the sad part is this is probably the second best outcome of the night in terms of wrestling as the outcomes come in. That's how bad this whole card was in terms of storyline. Yeah, at least Corbin had something behind it. At least Ryder had, you know, that excellent, you know, story behind him. Then we get to
somehow something even worse.
just that finale. Well, first of all, let's start with the intro. Were you confused as I was when that intro came up?
If that intro was like for Bray Wyatt coming out, for Undertaker coming out, for Kane coming out, at least even Finn Balor coming out, it's like, okay, what's going on with Triple H here? Like, he's the suit.
But like the whole Stephanie like Power Rangers Zeta angle, like, wait, what? Like, you're the Lord of Darkness? I mean, what is going on here? Like, no. I mean, I admit it was the most fun I had in the last hour and a half of watching, because it was just like, this is so ridiculous, and just like the people over the mouths. Like, are you symbolizing? You're poking the bear, aren't you? Like, oh yeah.
Are they trying to stop you from taking this match seriously so you won't boo Roman Reigns?
Like they. I admit, they tried their hardest to get the heat on them, and kudos for them trying. But it's hilarious that the most heat that they've tried, the most effort that Triple H has tried to get on himself over the last 20 years in terms of trying to get the heat on him, ended up getting the most cheers of the last 20 years on him. It's just like, I don't know what you were thinking, but people
just comes out
and just the booze. Oh my God. They had to turn off the mics almost immediately. Just like, Jesus Christ,
didn't help. You could still hear them because it was picking up on other mics.
It's just like, my God. And I feel sorry for Roman to a certain extent because it's not his fault that he's been booked. It's sort of his fault, but I mean, like, he needs to speak up when he's being booked like this. But my God, you need to do something. I feel sorry for the guy because he has improved. It's just,
they're never getting Reigns over in anything resembling recent years. And it's not really his fault. They had the wherewithal to book him to win the Rumble Daniel Bryan returned on. And they have still not recovered from that over a year.
And people don't like it when you try to when it's like, please take this and you're gonna like it, like the Batista and Orton thing before Bryan. It's like, oh, these are two huge competitors. No one wanted it. Batista is a babyface. No one thought he was a babyface. Even Batista, when you look at those interviews, he's like, I don't understand why I'm a babyface. I mean, I'm the heel. I mean, and so trying to sell people on this concept that Roman is the conquering warrior and he's going to bring, the evil authority down, when the next night is going to be a 30-minute authority promo, and you worsen that by having Shane go on first so that the authority's in power. It's just like, why should I care about this match? And even from a wrestling standpoint, I thought the match wasn't that entertaining. It had moments.
It was a match. Like, all right, what happened to this being a no DQ match?
That's a good question. I
know they said this is good because it was one of those things. They slipped it in under the radar last minute. It's going to be no DQ. It's like, what? That changes a lot.
But oh wait, he's got the sledgehammer. He's going to get himself disqualified. Wait, no, I thought this was a no DQ match. What are you talking about? Like, did they only leak that so that people would be like, well, maybe somebody will come in and help, no, and then change the last. Like, there was absolutely no consistency in that entire match.
That did kind of happen back with the Divas match too, when they kept going for a rope break, but there's not supposed to be a DQ in a triple threat.
Yeah, well, and going for the ropes. Yeah, you're right. And at that point, and people were confused, but like when Becky Lynch actually pulled that person aside, and people are like, "Oh, well, she's under the rope. That doesn't mean a rope break." No, she actually pulled the person, and thus they're out of the hold at that point. So there were times where it worked, and then it's just like, "Oh, Charlotte's reaching for the rope. Charlotte's reaching for the rope." Wait a minute,
they're acknowledging it though. I remember the announcers acknowledging there's no rope break.
Okay, can we talk about the announcers for a second? Because
anything to delay more talking about Roman Reigns, sure.
Well, I mean, like, when I honestly think Cole could be a good announcer if he didn't have that checklist in front of him. Because again, we've seen it in like when they went to Japan, and he's able to do things like that. I think Morrow needs to be on the main, calls at this point, only from this perspective. He's done other big sports, and he has the sort of backing of saying, I've done this before. Don't tell me what to do. Because Cole, just shut up. Just shut up and let the match play out. JBL, please shut up and let the match play through. I understand you're the heel commentator, but I want to punch you in the face right now because you won't shut up about certain things.
It won't help because I know I'll still have to listen to you.
And like when they have to keep on selling the League of Nations. If I hear the League of Nations and the Four Horsemen compared again, I am driving down to Texas and I am literally, bitch slapping JBL across the face because why? Like you're gonna compare the Four Horsemen with Sheamus, Wade Barrett, Rusev and Alberto Del Rio. I'm sorry. No, it's not happening. Okay, so the match had
hold on. I was looking for this. I checked my tweet timeline because JBL said the single greatest thing he's ever said. Well, that's a chair.
Well, that's a chair.
That was the best call he has ever made. Well, that's a chair.
Oh, God.
I even made a tweet about it. I don't understand how he's on commentary.
I don't.
Well, that's a chair.
But I just
that sums it up perfectly. I think
it sums it up. This whole night is summed up by that one.
Well, that's a chair.
But I mean, everyone saw this coming. Everybody saw this match and its outcome, and that Roman Reigns and it was gonna win. And you were hoping like hell that something would swerve, that Rollins would come back and screw him, or something else would happen to avoid this. And yet, WWE just decided that nope, this is the way we're going, and it just doesn't. It didn't. And I don't know where do you go from here with Roman as a champion? That's my bigger question right now. Who challenges him now? Triple H
want a rematch with him and Lesnar. I know they want that rematch,
but that won't happen now.
Nobody wants that rematch other than Vince.
Oh, and it won't happen now. So who are you going to have a challenge? Like the problem is that of the people who could challenge him, okay, Jericho, okay, maybe. Owens, the Owens will get more pop than he will. Like, who is the heel that's going to be able to make him look like a face? No one.
They'd have to do Ambrose. See, it wouldn't be they wouldn't be cheering for Reigns, but they got to get the title off of him.
Well, they got to get the title off him, but will they take the title off of him, and will it be somebody who they can actually make a heel with making him look stronger at that point? Because even if you put Ambrose as a heel and taking him out, I still don't think that's going to help Reigns. People are going to be like, thank God, and then they'll forget Reigns and move on. So
I think that's what they have to do.
They have
the Reigns experiment has failed. The Roman Empire will never be a thing.
But this is Vince McMahon we're talking about. This is the only John Cena would be a better choice right now. That's how desperate we're at. Yes, John Cena, the person that people have hated over the last several years only because of the fact that he's won and he's always the person who puts over. I'd rather have him right now than Roman, because Roman is just not interesting. He's not that good.
I will give him this though. Did you catch the moment of the match? People actually cheered for Roman Reigns.
The Stephanie spot. Yes, the one moment spearing a woman in the middle of the ring got you the pop. Well done, WWE. But I mean, okay, good. You got that pop. It immediately went away though. Like maybe
he's just kept beating up Stephanie. Maybe that would have gotten him over.
That's honestly, I think that may have been the only way that would have happened. But then WWE would have been like, well, or like all these groups would have been nasty at that point. But okay. I just
like not looking at like what the characters themselves. Just think of what Stephanie McMahon herself has to be thinking. That the entire crowd just cheered for this giant man spearing a tiny woman.
And kudos, but you see, kudos to Stephanie. She got heat. She actually found a way to get enough heat to put Roman over for a brief amount of time. That takes skill. Even Triple H, with beating him the crap out of him, never got that heat with Roman. Kudos to Stephanie McMahon, who was able to finally find a way to do it. That's a sad statement, isn't it? Just like,
yes,
God.
No, I almost love this WrestleMania just because this is a train wreck. This is not going well for them.
It's a train. We're training. It's just like we are putting new value on women's wrestling by having a man interfere with a women's title match and having a woman speared in the middle of the main event and getting cheered. Women's wrestling, everybody.
Like back in the day when freaking the Dudleys first came on. Like, yeah. I remember seeing an interview about this. They first put Trish Stratus through a table, and Vince thought it would finally like push people to start booing the Dudleys. But they're like, do you realize how much heat Trish has right now? They will never get booed for putting her through a table. Everyone wants to see this.
It's amazing how WWE has not learned from their past. It's the Capcom of the wrestling world. It's just like you could still make the same mistake over and over again. You could do things that you know perfectly well that you can't do, like, I don't know, Street Fighter V and its rage quit system not actually having a rage quit system. You know perfectly better than that. You've done this before, but yet you've bullishly gone in there and said, this is how we're going to do it. This is going to get over with the fans. We know better than everybody else does.
You will love Roman Reigns.
You will love Roman Reigns. You will.
We will never stop trying to make Roman Empire a thing, which wouldn't even happen if people liked Roman Reigns.
And to be perfectly honest with you, unfortunately, and I said this in a comment with somebody on a YouTuber earlier, it's battered spouse syndrome, because people keep on coming back despite the fact that they keep on doing the same shit over and over and over again.
Well, that's not happening as much now with the ratings dropping.
Well, but I mean,
we're finally getting better.
We're finally learning, I hope, but
I can't cancel my network subscription because I like NXT.
Yeah, that's the problem, isn't it? Just like, can I buy just NXT, please? Just
half the price. You can keep everything else off. I just want my NXT.
I mean, and honestly, the NXT, just like the Zayn and Nakamura match alone was worth this month's. So okay, fine, but guess what? What NXT pay-per-views are usually 3-4 months apart.
Yeah.
So what keeps me around? What keeps me around for the non-pay-per-views? I mean, the NXT skills, I mean, are there, but like, if you're gonna sell it on the pay-per-views, guess what? I can go a month, buy the pay-per-view for the NXT, watch everything up to that point, and then wait 3 months and do it again. Because guess what? Your regular product is shit. It's shit compared to what you've got here.
I don't know how that happened. This was a developmental territory.
But you see, it's a developmental territory who understands the basics, understands basic storyline, heel, hero, go now. And
wasn't it Dusty they had doing a lot of the booking and writing when he was working there?
Correct. And I think Triple H understands, this is a heel, this is a face. Here's the reason why the heel is bad. Here's the reason why the face is good. They conflict with each other. Okay, go at it. That's it. That's all you need. You boil the story down to basics, not this complicated element where they've introduced so many different mechanics and you change it up every single week. No, keep it basic. And they just don't seem to understand that.
Yeah, I don't get it. I don't understand this. Like, I'm not a wrestling booker. I've never worked in the business. I know there's something horribly, horribly wrong here.
Everyone does. And yet, for some reason, Vince McMahon just seems to think that he knows better because he won the Monday Night War. So he has to be better, right? Right?
I don't get it. It depresses me.
It's going to be interesting to see what they do on the Raw afterward. But honestly, I don't know how. How do you make it up at this point? I don't see how you can.
The Undertaker has to wage war on Vince McMahon himself.
Even then, I'm not interested.
They have to do something to end the authority.
That's a big part of it. It's just like the 30-minute promos have to go away. You need to put the emphasis back on wrestling. You need to put an emphasis on the championships meaning something and not doing the same thing over again. Like, if you look at NXT, like even within NXT and the basic booking, they're doing new things, interesting things, even within the matches with the tags, like in American Alpha and things like that, with Nakamura and Zayn. They're evolving. WWE does not, the main show does not want to evolve. It does not want to, it wants the status quo, despite the fact that no one wants the status quo. Everyone hates this right now. You did the same thing with the whole, you tried to push Batista. It didn't work. Okay, you had to use Bryan. That worked. That worked
really, really well.
That got people interested again. So you didn't learn from that. You guys like Reigns. Like, well, we like this guy called Ambrose over here. Oh, well, he's just a mid-carder. We don't really care about it. But you want Reigns, right? No,
we're okay with Reigns, but
I mean, you're not going to make him champion. Oh no, he's going to be the face of the company. No, he's not.
Again, if they hadn't done it on Bryan's debut or return at that Rumble, I don't think it would have been nearly as vicious a backlash.
I think you're right to a certain extent. I think if they kept on pushing Reigns, like the Reigns after that, I think it would have been a little bit less. But I think the problem is that you have Reigns, and again, you have Ambrose, who's been building and building and building and becoming this interesting character, and he's connected literally connected, by the brothers thing to Reigns. So when you always look at Reigns, you'll always look at Ambrose, and Ambrose looks so much better at every point because Ambrose has a personality. Ambrose is able to do things on the mic. Ambrose is able to have an interesting match with everybody. So he's got this problem where he's connected to the Shield. You still have the same clothing from the Shield, basically. So what are you gonna do? You gonna?
Can he stop showing up to matches in fucking body armor?
That would. You think that would be illegal in some way? Like, is he allowed to have that on? I mean, Kevlar. I mean, what exactly is going on here? But
anyway, you were saying
what. I don't know how they work off this WrestleMania. Kudos to WWE at times. At times, they're able to pull things out of their hat and make things work that I never thought would work. Like when Roman first won the championship on the Raw, okay, that worked for a short amount of time. So kudos to them on that. But I don't know how they do it in this one. I don't know in what way, unless if you just basically say, enough of this. Okay, we're going to have AJ Styles, Kevin Owens, they're going to be pushed to the top. All the skilled guys are going to get pushed, and we're going to, throw Big Show and Kane out of a cannon. You're never going to see them again. I don't see how they're gonna get over this, because this is one of the worst WrestleManias I think I've seen.
I'm really having a hard time off the top of my head coming up with a worse one. Like, there's probably more with more just terrible matches with more terrible finishes, but
I mean, storyline
just nothing.
Storyline. Okay, so storyline wise, what changed? So the Authority is still in power. Roman won the championship, which was like it a couple of months ago. Okay, Zack Ryder is now Intercontinental Champion. Okay, great.
That's the one good change I can think of off the top of my head.
Baron Corbin's coming to the main roster probably. Okay, the Whites still suck. Okay, New Day are still loved, but League of Nations still sucks.
And you're trying to bury New Day by having them lose to League of Nations, which was never over to begin with. And now looks even worse.
What?
Everything just ended up worse than before. Except Zack Ryder getting the title.
Thank you, Zack Ryder, for making at least one positive note out of this match.
They're gonna fuck that up.
I don't know. I hope the title changes Kalisto, and not because it's Kalisto losing, but maybe they'll get the Lucha Dragons back together and actually be able to give a challenge for the New Day at this point. I like Kalisto. I like Kalisto by himself more. I really do. But I also don't want Zack Ryder to be buried immediately, like I think is going to happen. And
he's going to lose to The Miz. He's going to lose to The Miz this Monday Raw.
Hold on. I'm checking WWE.com. Have they announced a match at Raw yet?
Oh, God. I just shout out like the worst thing I could think of is Miz comes out and beats him for the title.
And you know that's something that they could do.
Well, the worst thing I could think of that has a chance of happening.
Okay, they haven't announced anything specific yet, but
DDP comes out and wins it. He did eliminate the Ascension.
Yeah, I
feel bad for the Ascension. Like, I never saw the Ascension in NXT when I started watching. So I don't know what the hype was while they were there, other than they were just champs for a really long time. I still feel very bad for the Ascension.
Oh, wait, hold on a second. The fifth point on their 5-point preview. How long can WrestleMania Cinderella Man make the moment last? Oh, boy.
Too long.
Oh, no. Oh, boy.
Oh wait, no, we're talking about Ryder. Yeah, it's not going to last long. Oh, God. He's going to lose it to The Miz, isn't he?
Ladies and gentlemen, WWE 2016.
I think this has just broken our spirits.
After
this podcast, I think less of this WrestleMania than I did before this podcast started.
And you know what the sad thing is? I'm usually the positive guy. I'm a critical person. I try to find the positives in things and say, okay, this is for this kind of person. But even with this WrestleMania, I'm just sitting here going, this was for Vince McMahon. I can't think of anybody else who likes wrestling.
Think of it. Ryder wins. Guy from NXT comes up. This looks like the booking of a guy who thinks he knows what the internet crowd wants and is attempting and failing to appease them.
Yep. I
think that's what it is.
I'm hip. I'm cool. I'm Vince McMahon. I just bring out the picture of Steve Buscemi in the kid's outfit.
My soul.
So how do you react? So you heard the booze. You've known about the booze. You've turned down the booze. How do you know that's like, how do you keep on doing this? How do you keep on doing that knowing that you have to do that? Like, are you that stubborn?
After the Royal Rumble, there really wasn't much of a choice. They had to get the belt onto Roman Reigns at Mania.
I disagree, because think about how Brian, when he got inserted in, they had to work that storyline fast, but he had to work it. And you had Ambrose with that, okay, he keeps on getting into the big match but failing kind of situation because of shenanigans or anything along that line. You had the storyline there, so you had outs.
Correction, at Roadblock, they lost all other options.
Yes, they did. Because when that Roadblock, when that finished with his foot seemingly under the rope but not really, I thought, okay, wait, hold on a second. They could argue that he did win that match, and that maybe he finds a way to do a Daniel Bryan. If he wins against Lesnar, he goes and fights in the main event, makes it a triple threat. Or I thought maybe that, or maybe if Shane wins, that he has, because they did hint the power thing, like, oh, he's in control of Raw, therefore he's in control of the company. I thought maybe he could change the match to insert Ambrose or something, but of course neither of those happened. And Jesus.
Yeah, like the moment Shane lost, any semblance of hope died.
just 10 feet into the ground.
I wasn't big on this WrestleMania going in, but the more you discuss it, the worse everything becomes. It even ruined the freaking smidgen of joy I got from Ambrose and Lesnar.
I can't see it. Like who liked this? Like, I see comments in certain videos saying that they enjoyed WrestleMania. I'm trying to think of who does this person have brain damage? I don't know.
Maybe someone out there likes Roman Reigns.
I mean, American, the entire country, American Samoa.
I don't know. I don't even know if they care at this point. Nobody cares. I'm depressed now. Well, there's no way this podcast is ending on a high note.
So the moral of the story, kids, is that if you are given the golden throne by somebody in power, that you will eventually get what you want, that you can fight and claw all you want to try to fight the power, and it's not going to make a difference, and cheat to win. I'm pretty sure that's the entire night all in one about. Oh, and that the biggest stars of years past will overshadow you at every moment of your career.
Just don't dream, kids.
Just don't
dream.
I mean, this WrestleMania proved it.
The longer you live, just the longer the chance of that hole in your heart burning bigger and bigger, and there will eventually be nothing capable of filling it. WrestleMania 32.